So somebody was saying, something which doesn't impact your gut, that's a good kind of risk. If something is actually impacting your gut negatively, that's a poor risk.
Yes.
So just be very mindful when you're putting that kind of when you're actually taking a risk which is impacting your gut. That's where things are a little alarming, and it's always advisable that you think through it before you take an action on those areas which you're planning to execute. But having said that, coming back to the topic of the day that we are trying to discuss here, so Anup bhai, if you would also like to share, how do you overcome adverse situation and thrive back again in your life, whatever that you, and this is not with regards to business, but personally as an individual, as a human being, how do you ensure that you are not getting you're not getting into a dark tunnel from where you cannot come out in your personal life, so that you can personally grow all the time.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a very deep question.
And if you can also, whatever answer that you're going to give, if you can actually think of any life experience that you've gone through, and if you can share those learnings with us in your answer.
Okay, that will be long. I would put it this way, right? If you go to gym, right, you lift weights, and it's not just the amount of the weight, but also the duration that you stress your muscles for. And at some point, there's a failure that you achieve, and then you do it for 2 months, 3 months, then you increase the weight because you're used to it. But building some kind of resilience to that stress, right? That stressor in your to your body. Uh, I would say so far whatever I've experienced is very similar. Things that would stress you out when you were 20-year old will probably not stress you out when you're 30-year old, and so on and so forth. Could be, I could say when you're very young, a heartbreak would definitely put you down for weeks, months, maybe years. May happen 2 times, 3 times, then you're like, okay, it's fine. You'll dust yourself up and walk away from it. It's uh, it's about ultimately what you value in life, right? In the sense, um, and again, this is very difficult to answer because it's very subjective. Different people have a different reaction to adversity, reaction to situations. The one thing to realize is things are not happening to you; things are just happening, and there's an impact on you. But it's about how you take it, right? You can mop about it and say, why does this happen to me always? No, it's not happening to you. There's a situation, you are party to that situation, and it's impacting you. And then you say, okay, how do I reduce the impact of this negative impact of it? And you come out of it from that. And if for example, let's say the only goal in your life is to run a 100-kilometer marathon of some sort, right? And then uh, you meet an meet an unfortunate accident where your legs don't work well enough or you can't run anymore. If the only goal in life was that, you will be devastated, right? That was your vision, and that's what you were working towards. But does that mean life is over? It's not. I mean, you have a new situation now, and you have to look for a new goal. What I've seen, and unfortunately some of my friends have gone through very dark episodes in their lives, and a couple of them could not come out of it. They just ended it, and it's not pleasant to talk about, but it's reality. And uh, and the reason they could not come out with is they could not come to terms with the new reality of where they are. The old reality is no longer true for them, or the old vision is no longer true for them. And they could not just come to terms that, hey, that dream is over, let me figure out something new to do. Does that mean you will always be positive, always be happy go lucky? No, not necessarily. I've been down plenty of times. I have one of the biggest examples I can give is 2017. I had a weird illness, that um, bug that I contracted. Doctors could not figure out what was wrong with me. Uh, they did figure it out quite late, I would say, and I went into the ICU because my body went into seizures and whatnot. And it took me about 15 days of stay in the ICU and 3 months of stay in the hospital to come out of it. I had to learn how to walk again and how to write again. It impacted my brain basically. And I forgot a lot of things. I still don't know what I have forgotten. I meet people I'm supposed to know from 10, 20 years ago and I don't remember them. Yes, it impacted very, very negatively. My business collapsed because obviously when you are away for 6 months, uh, you know, and you are not able to reach people for 3 months, then things do change. And that impacted financial impact of hospital stay is also quite high. All this impacts happen. I have a family to take care of. The only thing that was going through my mind is what is next? What do I do from here, right? And I mopped about it for a while. It was a very negative space. I can't describe how negative it was. I felt like everything is over. But at some point, I just got up and I said, okay, what is next? There's a fresh start now, right? I'm not burdened with the past anymore. What is next? What can I do? Uh, I decided to continue what I was doing because I am trying to build something in the marketing area, and I continued with that for a while after that. And I mean, then desperation kicks in, right? In the sense you are so low, people take advantage of it. I got into a couple of bad partnerships after that, where some financial issues happened, and I realized, okay, these people are just taking advantage of the situation, and I had to walk away from that, losing a ton of money there. But what that taught me is to be careful with working with the people you are trying to. No, don't be desperate, because every deal that comes to has to be evaluated independent of the previous thing. People don't know your past, your history, etc. They are coming there with a deal in mind, so you have to evaluate that standalone, not confuse that with your current situation, which naturally happens when you are low. You kind of start seeing everything from your prism of misery, I would say, right? And you have to be very conscious about avoiding that. So it's a simple thing, right? The way I put it is, hey, there are dreams. One dream may be over, you can dream again, as long as you're capable of doing it. So yeah, uh, feel bad, that's fine. you know Deal with that emotion, that's also fine. But don't give up. There's always a next step. And look at people who have come out of much adverse situations than you have.